In 1998, I went over to Malawi for the first time. Worked as a volunteer up in Duangwa, up in the north of the country. 6 months I went on part of my gap year. I think I put down on the application form I wanted to go to New Zealand or Australia, and then Malawi came up, and they said I was going to go there. So went out there for 6 months, worked, doing a bit of teaching, a bit of planting tree seedlings, all this stuff for the Wildlife Society, and basically fell in love with the country. Had an amazing time, and then came back after that and went to university. I think the main reason Malawi is so special, and certainly so suitable for something like Lake of Stars, has got to be is the people there. It's been voted, I think there was a poll done recently, and it was voted in the number 2 was the most peaceful African countries. Botswana was number 1, and it really is. I mean, I've never felt safer in a city than walking around in somewhere like Lilongwe or Blantyre in Malawi. And there's always just a overwhelming friendliness and warmth that you get from people there. And then coming from the UK, and especially from London, you know, it's a real sort of breath of fresh air. So it's definitely, it comes down to the people. I think that's what makes a difference. So I had the idea for the Lake of Stars Festival around 2002. After I'd been out in Malawi, came home, went to university, and started a club night and called it Chibuku Shake Shake, in honour, in a way, of this horrible beer that you get out in Malawi called Chibuku. And the Shake Shake, they always call that because it's kind of like sludge. It's a bit like sort of porridge and cider, so you have to shake up the carton it comes in. So the club took off. We started as a student night, 100 people once a month, and then just kept putting money back into the account and getting bigger and bigger artists and bigger venues. And then it won Best UK Club in 2004. So the whole time that I was doing these gigs, doing these club nights, I was thinking of ways of going back out to Malawi, because I'd had friends who I had gone out to Malawi with initially, who'd gone back as teachers or to build a school or that sort of thing. But I wanted to go back and I think do something that had more of an impact, more of a sort of positive impact. So it wasn't just going back and just doing charity work, but it was something that would go back and highlight the positive side of Malawi. And I started looking at stuff like Live Aid, Glastonbury even, and just thinking, if you took a fraction of that sort of talent and the production and you put it in a country like Malawi, the amount of revenue you could generate from tourism would be massive. Plus you would be sort of showing people a real different side of an African country. Because I think at the same time there was loads of stuff in the British press about the poverty in Malawi, and it is one of the poorest countries in the world, and there's massive issues out there. But there's lots of people shouting about that, and there isn't anyone sort of shouting about the music or the culture or the beautiful sights or anything to really feel proud about, I think, as a Malawian. And that's what I got told a lot whenever I went and visited Malawi, is they was just sick of this image that the West had of them. So the idea of doing a festival or a music concert, that sort of started to grow from sort of 2002. And then it was, I think we announced that we're going to do it in 2003, started selling tickets for the following year. And it went from there. And it went from all of my friends and family saying, you know, you're mad and it can't be done and everyone will die, that sort of worries, to everyone doing a complete U-turn. As soon as they heard we had Andy Cato on board from Groove Armada, then all of a sudden it was like, wow, if he's doing it, you know, it must be cool, and I'd love to see someone like that in that location. So it's I guess it's more about the festival as the hook, but I think it also is the artists at play. It's if you're a little bit worried about going somewhere, as soon as you see a band or an artist you recognise, you sort of feel that's a sort of the mark of, you know, something you trust almost. So I guess it's event tourism is what it is.